For a moment, we're getting some visuals of delegation-level exchanges between delegations of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and visiting President Emmanuel Macron of France. Those visuals coming in from Mumbai, financial capital of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in talks with President Emmanuel Macron of France.
Yes, as you can see, full delegation present there. In fact, President Macron, when he came or left rather for India, he mentioned that he's coming with a full gamut of delegation, including business leaders, people from the field of energy and tech as well. But this is an official delegation that you're seeing right now, where you can see Prime Minister Modi flanked by the External Affairs Minister as well as the National Security Advisor, and so is President Macron by their counterparts. So these are official level talks, and after which there will be leader statements as well as exchange of documents.
Professor Devat, the point that you were making, if you could.
Yeah, so the point I was making was that now in these technologies, the future technology, which are going to determine the future of global technology, European technology or European economy, and also the Indian economy. And these are also very important for to achieve all the sustainable development goal targets which the world has set. Now, one is, of course, they can work with the United States, which they will continue to work. And they also had very close partnerships also earlier with China. In fact, at one point of time, the EU's partnership and also the French partnership with the China was also thought to be very, very important. But in the last few years, there is a real caution about this within Europe and also within France. So which are those partners which they can really work? Looking for these two other alternatives. Now, India is a country which, there are certain values which they share, whether it's about effective multilateralism, whether it's about democracy, and many other things actually which India has. So they feel that it's in the long run, it's good and easy to work with a country like India, because if they have certain technologies there in France or in other parts in Europe, they can really scale up those technologies, because in this kind of next phase of globalization, it's a scaling up of new technologies, because unless you scale up, the technology itself will not really be of much help. So India can provide a lot of data. India can provide a major market for many of those things, and you can scale them up together. And as Samuel was mentioning, you can also then become really exporter of many of these technologies to the other parts of the world. And then India also has a very large number of educated workforce, and that they have clearly identified. That's why they had a few years back, they also have a mobility agreement with India. They also want to attract a lot of Indian students to French universities. In fact, already more than 10,000 students are studying in different French universities. They want to keep them most of them actually in France.
Now India is open to campuses from foreign countries as well, so France could be a candidate in terms
of course,
their universities having campuses here.
Absolutely. But the only thing in the past has been because of French language. Because many of our students were not really going to some of the other European universities except UK because of the language barrier. But now, as things have really becoming more difficult in the US and in some other countries and in Canada and other places, they are also looking for new avenues to study and perhaps later on work. And I think many European countries, particularly France and Germany, they are really opening up, and they are also offering a lot of courses also in the English language per se, even in their universities. Even French universities are offering courses in English. So that's a major change actually one has seen in French education system. But of course, language will still be an important part if you really want to continue to settle in some of or work in French companies. And I think for the last few years, I think both countries have identified some of those bottlenecks and opportunities, and solid institutions, solid initiatives have been made to really tackle some of these issues.
All right. Since Shubhamal, artificial intelligence AI is the flavor of the week, so to speak, with the AI Impact Summit taking place in Delhi, let's talk about the concomitants, because India and France are collaborating in those fairs as well, be it because the infrastructure requires a lot of energy, so there's renewable energy, and apart from that, reliable supply chains, rare earths, chips. Do you think that is where the partnership perhaps needs to be taken further from here, according to that roadmap as well that is there till 2047?
Yeah, definitely. I think the overall AI ecosystem. You take the infrastructure, you take the software and the AI part. In every stage, there are targeted areas in which you could work. Let's look at. You mentioned about renewable energy. Before that, let me come to something known as liquid cooling. Now, AI systems are big guzzlers of energy, and
they produce a lot of heat.
Yes, and so France have the technology for liquid cooling, which has been very successfully employed. In fact, in the Horizon program in Europe for the large language model that they have, liquid cooling has been one of the biggest differentiators. So if we are able to get that and put it in our servers here, we are actually going to take down the cost
Is
of.
it something similar to nuclear reactors or different?
No, it's a little bit different.
Another point though, because France also invests a lot in nuclear
Absolutely.
energy in
So,
Europe.
So if you look at that whole space in which we would want to look at our energy diversification, and mind you, bill has also come about getting the private sectors also into the nuclear space. But if you look at liquid cooling per se for the servers, I think that itself will take down the cost of the AI infrastructure significantly, and look at the advantage to the environment and all of that stuff. So I think that's something that is already being looked at. In fact, when India is looking at building modular AI systems, and I know that our Minister of State Jitin Prasad as well as the India AI mission had been to France to see this kind of technologies in place. So this is one area that we really can work together, and there is no dearth of water in this country, but how do you process that water and take it to that stage where you are able to put up that whole server ecosystem in the country. In the budget we announced that up to 2047 we want to give the data centers tax holiday, which means that a lot of the cloud infrastructure and AI enhanced data centers are going to be set up in that country. Now in most of them, if you are able to bring in the liquid cooling, then I think we have a great story. Secondly, you come to the nuclear and the renewable part of the energy. Again, these are very clean fuels, and if you are able to use them and channelize them for many other sectors of the economy where you need energy, I think that is where significant conversations have to happen. The door is open and the horizons are clear and engagements are happening. So that goes to the next stage. The third is that even in this whole space of sovereignty around AI and maybe the whole AI story in which you look at more of the responsible part of the story, and where the overall EU story is coming, and where does the French lead, and that their whole effort dovetails into the India-EU cooperation around the AI and tech. In fact, in the India and EU TTC that has been there, this is one area